Have you ever met someone who smiled after making someone cry? Someone who insulted you, watched your reaction, and somehow looked satisfied? The disturbing part isn't that people like this exist. It's that your brain immediately asks the wrong question. What's wrong with them? But psychologists have spent decades asking a much darker question. What if hurting others actually rewards the brain? And the answer is more uncomfortable than most people realize. We like to believe humans are naturally kind, but evolution never promised kindness. It rewarded survival. Thousands of years ago, humiliating a rival, protecting your status, or dominating another person could mean more food, more allies, and a better chance of passing on your genes. Your brain doesn't care whether something is moral, it cares whether it works, which means, under the right circumstances, almost anyone can become cruel. And history proves it. But that's only the beginning. Because some people don't just hurt others to survive. They actually enjoy it. Every time you win, your brain releases dopamine. It's the same chemical involved in gambling, video games, and social media. Now imagine someone who feels powerful every time another person feels weak. For them, humiliation becomes the reward. That's why some bullies never stop. They're not just attacking you, they're feeding their own brain. Researchers have found that in some situations, seeing a rival fail activates parts of the brain associated with reward, not because everyone is evil, but because status, comparison, and competition are deeply wired into human psychology. And then, there's a much darker group. Psychologists describe 3 personality traits often called the dark triad: narcissism, psychopathy, and Machiavellianism. Not everyone with these traits is a criminal, but together, they make hurting people much easier. A narcissist may attack your confidence just to protect their ego. A psychopath often feels very little guilt, making empathy almost optional. A Machiavellian doesn't necessarily enjoy hurting you. They simply don't care. If pain helps them get what they want, different motives, same outcome, you lose. They gain. But here's what surprises most people. The most dangerous person might not have any of these traits. In the 1960s, psychologist Stanley Milgram conducted one of the most disturbing experiments ever. Ordinary people believed they were delivering painful electric shocks to strangers. Many continued, even when they thought the other person was screaming in agony. Why? Not because they were monsters, because authority told them to. Years later, another famous experiment suggested that ordinary social roles could also influence cruelty, though its conclusions remain debated. The frightening lesson isn't that evil people exist, it's that the situation around us can sometimes be stronger than our own morality. And that means the line between kindness and cruelty is thinner than we'd like to believe. So, why do some people enjoy hurting others? Sometimes it's power. Sometimes it's insecurity. Sometimes it's a brain-chasing reward. Sometimes it's simply a person who stopped seeing others as human. Understanding this doesn't excuse cruelty, but it helps you recognize it before you become its next target. Because the most dangerous people aren't always the loudest. Sometimes they're the ones smiling.